Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is Friday. That means we bring on Mr. Stephen Dow from Velocity Mortgage. How you doing, sir?
And I'm doing fantastic. Yourself?
I'm doing awesome, man. So as you know, you are one of my experts, and I actually have two mortgage lenders, mortgage brokers. I don't know what the actual word is. Both of you all lend money, but you do it in very different ways. I have Matt, the mortgage guy, on Wednesdays and you on Fridays. What I thought we would do here is we would do a show for the new investors, right? They're watching my channel. They're excited. They're doing the work. They found a deal. When should they call you versus when should they call Matt, the mortgage guy? Sure. So I will take a shot at that first. That way you don't, you're not in trouble with the industry. But before we do, please give me the marketing spiel.
Thank you again. Although I work happily for Velocity Mortgage Capital, all the ideas and topics discussed on this channel are that of my own. And let's get it going.
So when I look at this situation, there's a couple of easy answers to when you go to Matt, the mortgage guy.
Right.
One is if it's an owner-occ deal, right? If you found an owner-occ, you want to buy it. First off, you don't play there. And second, he's going to give you the best rates without question, right? It's kind of like
on residential side, correct?
Yeah, right.
But you can actually, on the multifamily, you can live in one of the units with us. So
that's true.
That's kind of like apartment hacking, but other than that, yes.
So we'll talk about apartment hacking with you because that's a more and more people should be doing that. But yeah, I was talking owner-occ, the standard single family home. Got it. So Matt, the mortgage guy. The 100%. Other one is if you are a real estate investor and you're doing something less than your first 10, if you're buying in your first name or in your name, or if you have a seasoned LLC, all right, 2 years tax returns, all of that. He probably can get you, again, residential 4 and below, the cheapest stuff. But that's when you look at the industry of real estate investors, which I am in, that is actually a pretty small percentage, right? Unless typically owner-occ is a big one, right? So he gets all that stuff. But when you talk about investors, you come in a big way, right?
In many cases, it's usually where they kind of ultimately end up on my doorstep versus where they start off at. Because again, like you said, conventional, typically the first deal, that's why, the best terms and everything else. But if you either cannot qualify for that or you either hit the max limit of 10 or different changes in your life, you now switch to, self-employed, but it's only been, open for the last 2 months. Now you want to hold title as an entity instead, things of that nature. Then as life changes over time or you continue on your investment journey, you're going to be calling me at some point.
Yeah. So I have a list of things that I just want to verify just so people hear them, right? So I'm a new investor. I'm excited. I'm self-employed. I run a business, all of that. Today, and again, this could change, right? Depending on when you watch this, it might change. But as of right now, January of 2022, self-employed is really hard to get done via traditional financing. It is if it happens, it's a very painful exercise. And Matt has actually shared a couple of times, like, don't try it, not yet. But for you, it's a pretty standard process, right?
Oh yeah, because I mean, again, with us being what you would call a stated income lender, we don't normally require the same stack of paperwork as far as personal income documentation as other lenders, such as tax returns, pay stubs, W-2s, things of that nature. And especially if you're self-employed, most people's tax returns aren't going to really reflect that true income because they're going to try to play a little bit more of a aggressive tax scheme. So from that standpoint, it's really difficult to get normal conventional financing if you're self-employed, just because of that reason, because they go off the net operating net income and not your gross income. So that's when you come to me and we make it super easy. I mean, as you can already see, Mike.
And then so the other one is brand new LLCs. A lot of folks in the real estate game, either they're buying in their LLC or maybe they're buying with 2 other friends or whatever, and the LLC is the entity. You can do it in an entity that's just been set up weeks in the making, right? Doesn't matter.
Pay a paralegal. 2 weeks later, you got your entity. Let's close it.
You just need a EIN number, I think is what it is.
Correct.
Correct. So it needs to actually be done, not just
correct.
Think about it. LLC.
Oh, Steve Dow Incorporated. Yeah, just put it under that.
Yeah.
It has to be filed. So like I said, paralegal, pay them $99. I think they can have your entity set up in about 2 weeks.
The other one is blanket loans, something that is very
Yes.
difficult to do in a straight up loan. They like
Very popular.
one
actually, with
loan,
your
yeah,
people.
one
Yeah.
loan, one property. That's Matt, the mortgage guy, right? One loan, one
Right.
property, one loan, one property.
Right.
You will do a blanket loan, dozens of, potentially dozens, if not even just 2 or 3, right? So again,
I'm doing one at 20 units right
Oh
now.
my God, that's awesome.
Yes.
So the reason this is important for new real estate investors is sometimes you go out there, you go to a meetup, you go all of this, you find a frustrated landlord who wants out, and they're willing to do a deal with you, but they want out at one time. A blanket loan, sometimes called portfolio loan, is awesome. Again, not done at a Matt the mortgage guy type loan. It is done in a non-QM lender, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know all of Matt's product lines, and maybe lenders that he
I'll say, but look at you trying to be nice.
I'm being very specific because in my world, it's all about numbers, facts, and figures, and not feelings. And so in this case, I would imagine that would be typically the situation. Is it possible that Matt would have somebody? Yeah, probable. I don't think so, only because I think he normally fishes in the, owner-occupied, single family or whatever, pond. So
it's a different,
but you never know.
It's a different file. It's a different thing. Yeah. It's, well, let me just say this: blanket loan or portfolio loans in my world for the last decade or so have been that unicorn. They've been talked about. They've been theorized. I have not found many people that kind of just do them as easily as Velocity Mortgage. So thank you for that.
No, you would be correct in saying so. There might be some local banks in some cases in certain areas, but they're typically on the commercial side where it's like short-term fixed, 20, 25-year amortization, things of that nature. So
do the math.
I mean, do the math.
So the other one that's very interesting, and you actually have a loan product for this that Matt really can't play in, that is a distressed asset, right? If you want to start executing BRRRRs or doing those kinds of things, and you have no experience, non-QM plays really well there.
Not all non-QM. Most of them would prefer a seasoned.
As far as I'm concerned, you're the only non-QM lender.
Oh, well, thank you, Mike. But I just try to be specific and be fair. We're not the only game in town, but yes, for the majority out there, we would welcome first-time investors in a sense. They just got to be kind of positioned correctly. So that's why it's so important to have a phone call to kind of see where you're at now, to make sure that when you are ready or when you do come across that property, that you are well positioned to be able to get approved. Otherwise, you can have all the desire and attention all you want, but if you ain't got the resources and the right setup, you're not going to get anything. So it's 100% brand new investor. We could try to have that nice conversation, make sure you got all your ducks in a row before you start looking. But it definitely 100%.
Right, so let's wrap this up and introduce what a new investor, some of the fees or vocabulary that they're going to see on I don't know if it's a statement or proposal or whatever you call it. There's obviously an appraisal fee that they need to pay for. That's kind of standard. Right. Okay.
Right.
Why don't you go through the fees? I don't want to guess.
Sure. Well, depending upon property type is really comes down to as to what the fees are associated with. So if you're talking about 1 to 4 unit non-owner residential, typically is going to be again from the normal process, applying with a loan professional, things of that nature. There's going to be origination points of some sort, processing fees, underwriting fee, appraisal, title, maybe escrow if the state requires that. And that's typically about it. And then obviously there might be some recording fees that are associated with, recording on title, impounds for property taxes and insurance. Right. So they're going to collect for that at the close. So keep that in mind. So typically you should have at least, 20, 25% down payment as a first-time investor, at least with our product. And then depending upon which product, say it's for the ARV program, for the fix and flip or fix and hold, you should have at least enough for the down payment and enough to start the first phase of the rehab. Right. So I think this might be another good topic for maybe next week or something where we kind of break down for first-time investors for certain products and certain properties. Because this is going to be a long kind of breakdown. Yeah.
And then the other thing just to realize is they could also, I guess it's called points, right? They can also pay points to buy down the rate. Is that true?
Right. 100%. I mean, just like with on the conventional side, they'll offer you, something at no points and then something at, more points or what have you. So it's kind of the same scenario where you're just buying all the way down, but we give an opportunity on this platform as far as, especially on the commercial side, they don't normally go down to 399. They don't normally go down to 30. They don't normally do 30-year fixed, 30-year amortization either.
Yeah.
So especially on the multifamily right now, it's been very attractive with a lot of clients out there. So, but yeah, definitely you can buy down again, down to 399, and for very little hassle versus going conventional, where rates are starting to creep up in the 4s now. So I think it's now my product is getting very much more attractive just because rates are starting to creep up on that side, and just so much more paperwork on this side to try to get pretty close to my rate, if not higher. So mine is starting to kind of even out that, they're starting to kind of lean over to my side, but we'll see. But again, if you want to reach me, sdow@velocitymortgage.com, right below us. Please put in the subject line the acronym ORAAT. Some people forget that extra A. Leave in the body of the email, the breakdown of what you're looking for, property type, desired loan amount, mid FICO score, best phone number to reach you, and or whatever it is that you're looking for. If you're just brand new, just want to have a conversation, I'll reach out to you right away as well. But phone number I can reach you back at, and hopefully within 24, 48 hours, I can give you a call back and we'll make it a quick call.
Yep, folks, if you're a new investor that we just went through and you want to get in the game, one of the things is you need a lender, you need access to capital so you can close. If you're not set up to do owner occ or get a traditional loan via Matt the Mortgage Guy, I suggest you reach out to Stephen Dow, let him know what you're doing, because he does not do everything. Doesn't do new construction, doesn't serve all markets, serves most markets, but not all markets. So reach out now so you're prepared. Again, sdow@Velocity Mortgage. And I'm doing this because it's actually it's in the show notes below.
Right.
All right, buddy. Thank you again.
Thanks, Mike. Have a good weekend.